The following is a presentation of Bakersfield College Athletics.
Bishop Sports Center. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tom Myers, joined by my good friend Julian Wilson. And tonight we've got a good one for you. It's the Bakersfield College Renegades taking on the Falcons. The Falcons coming into the season so far, they're not having a contested 1-8 start. An unusually different type of start, Julian. 1-8 doesn't really speak to their true record. So far this season, the first game out of the block, they lost at 102-98, triple overtime thriller. Wow. And they've been in practically every game. The next loss was 55-54. The next loss, 74-70. And then they've had a couple of other ones that have been really close. Only one win, but honestly a much better squad than what we're seeing. And they've got some size tonight.
Well, you know what it is. It's like, again, it's the beginning of the season. You know, that's probably one thing they need to learn. They need to learn how to close out games. That's all it is.
Absolutely. And a young squad at that, only 3 sophomores on their roster. The same as, guess what, another squad that we know of. Bakersfield College Renegades also has 3. Renegades 4-4 so far on the season. And they've made, a couple of great, strides down the stretch here so far. And Greg McCall has a pretty good squad and a couple of good players. Ollie Fell is the first one. He's one of my personal fan favorites. Fell, just a massive forward at 6'6", finding ways to get down low into the paint if he can stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah, I mean, the coach has assembled. Bakersfield College is so lucky to have him. He has assembled a team, and he just put them together, in his first season. I think it's exciting here.
Yeah, starting out the game on the court for the Renegades, number 1, Isaiah Perry, number 3, Leviticus Latu, the freshman guard. Lendell Henderson, a sophomore forward at 6'7". Ollie Fell, as we just mentioned, at 6'6". And Godwill Famuso, out of Centennial High School. I've watched him play for a number of years, Godwill. He's a 6'5" forward. So the Renegades, and they're going to be taking on a 6'2" freshman guard, number 0, Corian Taylor. 5'10" freshman guard, number 1, Jamarian Harper. A 6' sophomore guard, number 3, Donovan Johnson. A 6'6" freshman forward, number 20, Timothy Fleming. And then 6'5" sophomore, number 23, Isaiah Harper. Renegades get the tip. And we're going to see how fast their offense gets off to a start. They've been a little slow, and that's going to be a charge on Famuso. Elbow thrown. And Jamarian Harper takes a nice little flop there down low in the paint.
But he did throw it.
He absolutely
did throw it. And we're going to have to admit that.
And Famuso making right the mistake that he just made. Oh, and he throws one away. It might have gotten tipped, but they're going to call no touch there by Harper. And a turnover. 2 turnovers so far. Well, I don't think we call the first one a turnover, but
right.
That is one problem the Renegades will have today, is containing the number of turnovers that they've managed to muster so far this season. Corian Taylor drops it off to Jamarian Harper, the point guard, captaining this offense tonight. Falcons working it around. Falcons in blue, Renegades in white. And a nice rebound by Ollie Fell down low. Look for Fell to stay out of foul trouble. A couple weeks ago, he had 3 early in the first half and basically had to sit for the remainder of the first half and part of the third. Remarkably, did not foul out in that game, but did foul out in the game prior here at home. 18:43 on the clock here in the first half. Nobody has yet to put the ball in the bucket yet. And that one's from long range. Harper can't get it to go. Leviticus Latu doing a great job on the outside in every game, kind of running the whole offense for the Renegades, and that foul is going to get called against the Falcons. His first, Donovan Johnson. Renegades inbounding now. And we do have fantastic stats today. Both Steve Lynch and his son Stevie down there at the score table updating throughout the game. And fans, if you want to get a good idea of the stats for the game, you can go to GoGades.com and the live play-by-play action. Fell may have gotten a hand on that one out there on the perimeter, disrupting that three-point attempt. Falcons back out top, trying to reset. Julian, at the beginning of most of these games we've seen here at Bakersfield College, teams are a little cold usually coming right out the block.
Right, exactly, and I was just going to say the same thing. You know, again, early in the season.
And Corey and Taylor may have stepped out of bounds over there. I don't know what the call, I didn't see the call on that one. But a turnover by the Falcons. Latu gives it down to Fell down low. Fell with the turnaround jumper. Oh, and he gets it off the glass for the first score of the game by the Renegades. Oh, and a turnover by the Falcons. Latu high off the glass, gets that one to go with contact. And great focus, and the Renegades off to a 4-0 lead, and they're applying pressure. Oh, and a foot. And not a bad move by Corey and Taylor. Isaiah Perry was unabated to the basket, and had he caught that one, likely would have scored. And that would have led to a 6-0 lead, but currently 4-0. And 16:44 on the clock here in the first half.
Yeah, so it looks like it's taken about 3 minutes for the Renegades to shake that chill off.
But now they're starting to apply pressure. And a full court press. Latu with the jumper. Oh, and he gets it to go. And the Renegades off to a 6-0 run. Renegades applying the pressure. Oh, and a nice dish down underneath. And a score by Timothy Fleming. Godwill-Famuso was up over his back. Could have drawn the foul on that, but right now the officials are letting him play. Perry working the outside, and it's back down inside to Fell. And contact is made, and the foul's going to get called against the Falcons. Number 3, Donovan Johnson. And now checking in for the Falcons is Josiah Perez-Little, number 2. Perez-Little out of Morton Ranch in Houston, Texas. And now coming in for the first time today, number 12, Markel Brooks. Brooks, a 6'8 sophomore out of Golden Valley High School. Fell down low in the paint, goes to turn around. He's pushed off, and that one hits off the glass and off the front of the rim, and it's out. And a swarming defense by the Renegades in the paint. Oh, and he turns it over. Isaiah Perry gives it up to Jamarian Harper. Harper scores, and now it's 6-4. Latu with the short miss. And an offensive foul. Lendell Henderson draws the charge on Josiah Perez-Little. Isaiah Perry now is going to take a seat. Gustavo Chavez checks in for him. 15:26 to go here in the first half. Renegades with the early 2-point lead. That's right, Lendl Henderson. And a jump ball gets called. You know, the Renegades have been having trouble with those just uncontested shots lately.
Right.
Short shots that they should be making.
And that shot that Henderson that's the shot you want.
Henderson had a perfect one just inside the foul line there with nobody. One thing I've noticed, Ollie Fell, number 14, manages to get down low in the paint, and he elevates really well, but has trouble finishing, usually down low. I think they've been working on that a little bit because he did make a couple of those shots earlier today.
Right, and you can tell they've been working on it because he's getting better with each game. So
Phil, one of the sophomores on this squad, at 6'6", and he's out of Espanola High School in New Mexico. And another turnover by the Falcons. Falcons with 7 turnovers so far in the game.
wow.
Once again, thank you, Steve Lynch, for the fantastic statistics on this one. Henderson driving the lane, does the spin move, and gets it to go.
How did he get that up on the glass?
What a fantastic touch. After slipping down low. Oh, and the foul's going to get called on Latu. Too much on the hand check there. Latu, 4 points and 1 foul so far in the game. Coalinga trying to slow down the offense here a little bit. Hoping, and another turnover, great save. And Ollie Fell can't get to it. Trips over the player. And a nice spot-up jumper by Josiah Perez-Little. And we're tied. No, we're not tied. It's 8-6. Forgot the Renegades just had a score. Ollie Fell.
Oh.
And once again, that's that finish that he has trouble with.
Exactly.
Oh, and a nice alley-oop by the Falcons. Isaiah Harper putting that one down. Harper getting the nice feed. And now the game is tied at 8. And the Falcons are starting to apply some pressure. And here's Chavez from three-point land. He can't get that one to go. Henderson with the rebound. Back out to Latu. And he gets the 3 to go. And the Renegades are back on top 11-8. 13-18 left to go here in the first half. And a timeout. Looks like they called a foul away from the ball, and that got called on number 23, Isaiah Harper. That's Harper's first. 4th team foul so far for the Falcons. Latu with the drive. And off the glass and misses the rim. Oh, and Ollie Fell gets the rebound on that. And turns it over. Nice pick by Jamarian Harper. And Harper can't get that one to go, and that's going to be off the Renegades and out of bounds.
You know, and I don't know if that was Euro step. Maybe you can help me out. Euro step, shuffle slide. What was that?
That was an NBA move, from what I've been understanding. That's the new paradigm in the NBA. It's a 3-step to the hoop, apparently.
3 steps to the hoop. Yeah, it's always been like that. I think since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Exactly. For those young viewers at home, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a famous basketball player for the Los Angeles Lakers back in the 70s and 80s in Julian I's generation.
Yes. And I only mention him because LeBron James broke his scoring record.
Yes. And probably travels more than Kareem ever did.
That's right.
Okay, Ollie Fell now checking back in, and Godwell Famuso is going to sit down and gives a little nod like he's not happy to be out of the game. They want to give a little bit of a rest to all these players on the Renegade squad. Renegades actually have quite a few good bench players that come in off the bench that have really been supportive of the team so far this year.
Yes, they do, and it's made a difference.
And that one misses over the rim. Here come the Renegades. Arnold Ochoa seeing his first minutes of the game. And a long ranger from Markel Brooks. That one's off the mark, but quickly rebounded by Dante King. And King puts that one up, and it's off the back of the rim and in. And the Renegades now up 13-8 with 12 minutes to go. Oh, that one just thrown out of bounds. But it's going to stay Falcon ball. Looks like it was off the hand of Isaiah Perry.
You know, and I can't help but notice there's another person going up and down the side.
There's a six-man arguing.
There's a six-man arguing.
And that's going to be the first time out of this first half. You're watching Renegade basketball on Renegade Vision. And we're back. 11:39 left to go in the first half. Renegades up 13-8 on the Coalinga Falcons. Once again, Julian, we had talked about Coalinga at 1-8. Not really indicative of what kind of a team they are. They do have the ability to stay close in a lot of games that they've lost,
right,
including that first game that I talked about, that triple overtime loss, 102-98.
You know, and those teams are tough to play against, teams that can stay close, because it doesn't take anything but a point to shift the result. Yeah,
and as discussed previously, we talked about some of these teams that have nothing to lose play with an awful lot of reckless abandon, and they're really out to do it. And right there, a great play by Jamarian Harper, who draws the foul on Isaiah Perry. And that's going to be Perry's first foul, and each team now with 4 team fouls here in the early going of this first half. But we are awfully quick to get into 7 fouls, and we're going to be in the bonus before we know it.
Right. Still got 11 minutes, 30 seconds, and we're already, wow.
Harper sinks the first one. And that is the first free throws of the game, by the way. We haven't had anybody at the line yet. Most of the fouls have been called on the floor. We've seen a little bit of contact, but the officials are letting that go, and that's a travel that's going to get called against Arnold Ochoa. Renegades are going to turn the ball over. So far in the game, Renegades with 4 turnovers, while Coalinga has 8. Falcons working around and cutting to the basket. Jamarian Harper. A quick move, and down the lane he went for the quick score. Now it's 13-11. Renegades holding on to a 2-point lead. Ollie Fell in the corner, fires for 3. And down low. Oh, and Fell tries to come and tip it in after it was missed by Dante King. And they can't get that one to fall. Again, and Ollie Fell takes one on the chin from Isaiah Harper. And Harper with the score, and a timeout is going to get called by Greg McCall because he wants to have a conversation about that elbow that Harper just gave to Fell down low.
Right. I mean, it was as plain as day. I had to wipe my eyes to make sure I saw what I saw.
Yeah, we saw a pretty tough one there. And Ollie Fell, it's going to be one of those things where he's going to get physical down low. and he's going to elevate. The problem is, can he finish? And that's been kind of his
Right.
Achilles heel all season long.
Right. I think the first time that he actually finishes, because he's even had a couple of slam dunk attempts, and they just miss.
Yeah. And so far, what we've seen so far this season, and I'm a huge Ollie Fell fan.
Yeah.
I think that he's a fantastic basketball player with a great physical presence. And his ability to elevate and really get up is incredible.
Yeah.
It's the finish that he's got to work on.
Right.
And that's one of the things I think Greg McCall is really kind of hammering home with him. And granted, the other thing in his defense, he takes a ton of contact.
Right.
So we're seeing down low, and this is another example down here where he's trying to hold his ground, and he takes an elbow right in the jaw. That's kind of a rough one to kind of look the other way. And you can see Greg McCall wasn't too happy about it.
Right. And, when you're his size, when you're away from the ball, that's all you're getting is contact.
Absolutely. Nice spot-up jumper there. It misses. And here come the Falcons. And Ochoa, nice hand that he gets in there. And Ochoa gets the rebound out on the perimeter. Oh, and he turns it over. Here comes Corian Taylor. Taylor pulls back out. Pressure being applied by Dante King. And again, Julian, there's that contact we've been talking about that they're kind of just letting him play.
Right.
We've seen a ton of contact off the shot today. And again, there's only been one player gone to the foul line so far in this entire game. Oh, and a nice pass by Fell. And Lendl Henderson can't get that one to finish. We're tied at 13 here in the early going. 9:18 left to go. And Ollie Fell gets a hand in. Henderson picks it up. And Ochoa has the ball now, driving to his left. Here he comes down the lane, dishes it off. And an easy bucket for Markel Brooks.
Yeah, he almost waited too late to dish that ball.
Ochoa is standing right underneath the basket right next to him when he gave it to him. And we're just under the 9-minute mark here in the first half. Oh, and a nice steal by Dante King. Oh, and he misses the dunk.
Wow.
And Lendl Henderson uses that as an example to go off the glass so that he wouldn't get any grief from his coach McCall in practice tomorrow.
He's letting him have it. He's on the floor.
Renegades back up 4. Oh, and a nice drive by Josiah Perez-Little. And he kisses it off the glass and in. And now they only trail by 2. Ochoa over to Fell.
Inside.
Oh, it fell down low, and he didn't want it, so he dished it back out. That one misses off the mark. Oh, and it was almost let go, but a great snag by Corian Taylor, and Taylor looks all the way up the court. He gives it over. That one's missed, but it's just a pass down to Ozuma Ojuka. Game tied now at 17 with 7:32 left to go in the first half. And they call a kick ball, so they'll get a reset on the clock at 20. And here come a bunch of Renegades. Isaiah Perry, Leviticus Latu, and making his first appearance in the game so far, my own Frontier kid, Carter Wadea. Carter's been a redshirt freshman here. And Fell with a nice backup jumper, the follow-away off the glass and in. Oh, and Wadea turns around and puts that one in the bucket after he gets the steal. And he's going to get called with a foul after the play. And I don't know if they called a foul or if they called, it appears that they called a delay of game. So just a warning, so he won't get called with the foul just yet. But one more warning for him for delay could cause a technical foul for the Renegades. Dishing outside, the long-range jumper, that one misses. The Falcons have not had very good luck with three-pointers so far in this game. Oh, he fell down low. Oh, and he gets the dish and a nice kiss off the glass. And that's the guy we've been looking for, Julian.
I tell you what, he is at the next level. Is going to be a supreme benefit wherever he goes.
Nice kiss off the glass on the last two attempts down that he scored. Bill has 6 points in the game so far of the Renegades 23 as they lead 23-17. 6:10 left to go here in the first half. Latu trying to fight through the block there. Unable to. And a foul's going to get called. And that's going to be an offensive foul called against Isaiah Harper of the Falcons, and the Renegades are going to have the ball. That's going to be Isaiah's first foul. Second foul now, excuse me. Renegades now up 23-17 with just under 6 minutes to go. Henderson at the top of the key, looking to spot up, and that one misses the mark. Sends an air ball out of bounds. And a timeout is going to get called by the Falcons. We'll be back with the remainder of the first half right after these messages.
But in terms of the contact, it's just like you said, the referees are letting these guys play and they're keeping it in control. So.
Absolutely. And right now, 4 personal fouls for the Renegades, 5 team fouls, personal fouls for the Falcons. So close to the bonus, but not quite there yet. Probably could have, from what we've watched so far, probably could have been in the bonus a while ago, but they are letting contact happen and calling it pretty evenly both ways. Renegades doing a good job of interrupting passing lanes and getting their hands in there. Again, right there.
And there's another
Latu
turnover.
with a nice. Oh, and they're going to get called for a travel on that play and turn the ball back over after all that work down underneath the basket. Renegades doing a good job once again, like I said, of disrupting passing lanes and getting the turnovers. And again, we discussed 13 turnovers so far for the Falcons and only 7 for the Renegades.
And it's a surprise that they're not down even further than the
23-7. Yeah, the 23-17 score doesn't necessarily show the true story of this game so far.
Yep.
Renegades have been in command for most of it. On the shot clock expires. I don't think that they knew, Julian, that they had a shot clock going down.
But, you know, we have to give credit to the Renegade defense. That's part of the reason why we have so many turnovers in this game.
Applying a ton of pressure so far in this game. Latu drives and he finds Wadea, but Wadea can't keep a handle on it as he was coming down the lane. And another turnover by the Renegades now. Taylor driving to his right, puts it up, and it's in. A good drive and score by Taylor, who has a grin on his face right now. Corian Taylor out of North Crowley High School in Fort Worth, Texas. And a travel is going to get called once again on the Renegades.
You know, and Henderson slipped in the same place that he slipped the last time he was driving. They might want to check that.
Yeah, checking in now. And Wadea's going to have a seat while Markel Brooks comes into the game. So they're going large. Markel Brooks, 6'8", and Carter is only 6 feet tall, so they're going with a bigger package right now. Oh, and a nice turnover there by the Renegades. And he loses a handle on it out of bounds. And Brooks is taken off like he didn't know it was off the other player, but yeah, it was a turnover. It was not a turnover. It was just a ball off the hands and out of bounds as the Falcons touched it last. Isaiah Perry with the three. Renegades now up 26-19. 3:45 on the clock here in the first half. Oh, a nice rebound there by Lendell Henderson. Isaiah Perry drives and turns the ball over, trying to get it inside to Markel Brooks. And the Falcons quick down the back and puts it in off the rebound. That was Timothy Fleming. And a whistle got blown, but I don't know what the whistle was for, but the score did count, and now it's 26-21. And there was no one to rebound on that last play, Julian.
Right.
Fleming was left to his own devices right there under the basket, free from anybody, and just laid it back up and in. Henderson tried to call for the ball down low. Latu driving off the glass. That one bounces, and a nice tip by Famuso. Not Famuso, sorry. That was Markel Brooks trying to get the tip. Can't get it to go. And almost a turnover by the Falcons. Oh, and a nice shot, but a miss by Donovan Johnson. Johnson had two defenders on him, managed to fake them out and draw the foul while still getting the ball up to the basket, but couldn't make it. Now he's going to take to the line.
And I don't know how he got that ball through.
Donovan Johnson, a 6-foot sophomore guard out of Lemoore, California. The Renegades have yet to get to the line so far today. That's the second free throw made by the Falcons in their two trips.
And I think Ollie's getting his first break. I don't think he's been out of the game since the start.
Yeah, Ollie's going to take a seat. Fell with no fouls so far in the game, which is a little bit different kind of a thing that we've seen for him. We've not seen him in the first half without any fouls. But again, I think these officials are letting the kids play.
Right.
Latu trying to get one down low to Markel Brooks, and that one a little too low. Couldn't reach down and grab it. And a turnover by the Renegades now. And Josiah Perez-Little back in the game for the Falcons.
You know, Tom, and I noticed that as this game progresses, you can kind of see the Falcons' mode of operation. They just hang around, and that's what they're doing right now. They're just kind of hanging around.
Yeah, they were down by as much as 7, and now they've clawed their way back to 3, so it's 26-23 with 2:13. And someone's coming out. We got some maintenance crew out trying to clean up the court because it's been, they've complained of a couple of slippery spots so far.
Right.
So the Falcons have the ball down at the baseline. 2:13 left to go in the first half, trailing by 3. Falcons shooting 38.5% so far in the game, and the Renegades 40, so not a whole lot of difference there, but that may be the difference in the score, that 2%. Jamarian Harper driving to the baseline, dishes it back out to Perez-Little. That one's off the mark, but it's rebounded. Harper driving down the lane, dishes, and it's back out outside. That one's thrown up as the clock's starting to expire. And a good rebound by Lendell Henderson. Oh, Carter Wadea with a nice rebound, but he turns it over trying to dish it outside. Oh, Perry almost lost the handle on the ball.
Wow.
Jamarian Harper just kind of hanging around. And Perry from downtown, that one's off the mark. Henderson gets the rebound, and the Renegades are going to reset. 38 seconds on the clock, 12 on the shot. Latu driving the lane, dishes it outside to Henderson. That one's off the mark. And rebounded by the Falcons. Oh, and nobody got back for the Renegades. And the Falcons should have had a score on that.
Right. I didn't understand that shot.
Oh, and Latu, nice drive with his left hand, and that's going to be the end of the first half. That one's thrown up. They're not going to call that as good. End of the first half, it's 28-23. Renegades leading the Coalinga Falcons. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back to Bakersfield College basketball. Wrong season. We were discussing a couple of other things earlier, and volleyball popped up in one of the conversations. Renegades taking on the Coalinga Falcons tonight. And so far, a 28-23 affair by the Renegades, up 5. Not really what we kind of expected in this one, Julian. I don't know if we expected more of a blowout, but Coalinga 1-8, we were kind of expecting maybe the Renegades were going to impose their will a little earlier.
Well, it's just like we discussed earlier, they're not a bad team. They just haven't been able to finish their games, and hence they have the 1-8 record. But what we're seeing down on the floor, like I said, both of these teams are going at it, and the Falcons like to hang around. That's what they do.
Absolutely, and right now the Renegades 13 of 34 from the field, while the Falcons are 10 of 30. Not a huge difference. Both teams not either breaking the 40% barrier in the shooting mark. Renegades usually get a little bit warmer going into the second half. We'll find out if they can go ahead and make that actually a true statement by me. Famoso almost stepped out of bounds. Renegades with their starting 5 back out on the floor right now. Famoso driving, trying to get a reverse layup, doesn't get that one to go. Oh, and Perry with the smooth move down low. Isaiah Perry. The nice stutter step to his side and puts that one in. Renegades extend the lead to 7. Falcons trying to slow this game down. That way the Renegades can't get in a rhythm. But the Renegades known to start the fast break. And the Renegade defense really good at disrupting passing lanes. Famoso. Oh, and then the shot clock runs out once again. That hard defense, by the Renegades.
Yes.
Just stifling the Falcons and keeping them from getting the ball in. And the shot clock expires and a turnover by the Falcons. And so far, 16 turnovers by the Falcons in this game compared to the Renegades' 12. Ollie fell on the outside over to Henderson. Henderson tosses that one inside. Famoso down low, and once again the reverse layup, and it's in.
And Tom
Famoso with 2 points in the game so far. Yeah.
And Tom, for our viewers, that was a score off of a turnover.
Absolutely, and the Renegades hoping to capitalize on those turnovers a little bit more here in the second half. Donovan Johnson with the nice floater, and that one just can't make it. Henderson on the outside has the ability to shoot the long ball. Renegades getting a reset here. Leviticus Latu, leading scorer for the Renegades in the first half. And he drives and up off the glass. Oh, and he can't get that one to fall. Henderson with the rebound off the air ball. Oh, and Famusu's down low, and a nice dish to foul. And once again, he can't get it to fall as he goes to dunk it. And Ollie Fell misses the easy one. Renegade defense once again doing a great job, and the shot clock's at 7.
Right.
Ollie Fell gets the rebound, and here come the Renegades. Latu with 9 points so far in the game. And 16:49 left on the clock here in the first half. Latu from downtown. That one's off the front of the rim and out. And Corian Taylor comes up lame, hit in the eye. And a foul is going to get called on the Renegades, and it looks like it may go against Isaiah Perry, and it will. And that's going to be Isaiah Perry's second foul. And Corian Taylor's going to have a seat. His eye, he got poked in the eye, took a finger. He's going to get looked at really quick by the training staff as he comes over to the sideline.
And, Tom, as we mentioned earlier, that first half went by pretty fast because there weren't so many calls. I think, and here we are again, the Renegades have yet to get to the line, and we're putting the Falcons back on the line.
I spoke with our officiating expert, David Gaeta, earlier during halftime, and we talked specifically about the fact that they're letting these players just kind of play this game, but they don't want it to get out of hand, and they'll let it go to a point. But the officials doing a good job so far today of letting this one just kind of play itself out. Oh, and a nice dish. Ollie Fell gives it up to Godwill Famuso. Famuso with the easy lay-in. And the lead is now extended, the biggest of the game for the Renegades, to 10. And Famuso with the block.
And here we go.
And Henderson with the dunk, and he gets that one to fall. Wendell Henderson getting that one to go, and he's got 6 points now. Renegade lead is 12, and like we said, they're going to extend in this second half. They are a much better second half team, and a bad turnover. Oh, Famuso coughs it up as Jamarian Harper reaches in and takes the ball away from him. And Greg McCall is not happy with Godwill Famuso yelling at him from the sideline for that turnover.
I cannot emphasize more the energy of that sixth man on the floor. Wow.
We have nicknamed Greg McCall the sixth man.
He is the sixth man, yes.
Because he imposes his will on this team when they are out on the court.
Yes.
Like no coach that we've seen.
Exactly.
Famuso taking a shoulder there, manages to go ahead and hold his ground. Good defense by the Renegades. Perry on the perimeter, shoots the three. That one misses, it's off the mark. Latu with the good rebound on the perimeter. And if you can believe that, Ollie Fell just got blocked. We haven't seen that happen too many times.
No, and it was a graze, but it still goes down on the stat as a block.
Renegades holding a 36-24 lead right now with 15:01 to go here in this second half. And Carter Wadea seeing extra minutes here in this game. We had discussed how quickly that first half went, just 40 minutes. Not a lot of fouls, only 9 fouls, I think, in the first half, 10 fouls. The long-range jumper, and again, the offensive rebounding of the Renegades doing really well. And a foul's going to get called down in the paint. And that looks like it's going to go against the Falcons. And it's going to go against number 11, Benjamin Teasley. And that's going to be Teasley's first foul. Yeah, we didn't even get to the bonus in the first half, Julian, on either team.
We sure didn't, and I think it would have happened had it been more fouls from the other side. But, again, the Renegades were more focused on running the floor, and so.
Yeah, now coming in for the Renegades, Gustavo Chavez is number 2, and Markel Brooks and Dante King, 12 and 13. Once again, these bench players by the Renegades do serve a very good purpose on this squad and do contribute greatly to the game. Once again, a really young Renegade squad, just like this Falcon squad, only 3 sophomores on each team. And a foul is going to get called, and that's going to be an offensive foul called against the Falcons, and that's going to go against number 2, Josiah Perez-Little.
Well, look like
or I stand corrected. He said number 2. Oh, he was calling on Gustavo Chavez of the Renegades.
Yes.
Well, it's going to get called on one of them because both of them were guarding each other, and it had to go one direction. And there's a big push-off there. That was both Markel Brooks and number 23, Isaiah Harper, with the score. Kind of giving that old Shaq move where he just drops the shoulder and starts thundering inside.
You know, and it was a good-looking score.
And gets that one to go. 36-26 now with 13:57 to go in the second half. Renegades in command with this 10-point lead. And a travel's going to get called. He took one too many steps while he was trying to gather that ball, and you knew it was going to get called as soon as you saw him standing there. So another turnover for the Renegades. Now they're up to 15. They're starting to catch up with the Falcons, who have 18. A lot of turnovers so far in this second half. And a nice spot-up jumper just beyond the foul line. Benjamin Teasley. And Teasley with his first points of the game. Renegades down low. And Markel Brooks was kind of parked in the paint there. Surprised he didn't get called
for the 3-second, yes.
3-second violation. And that was going to be a foul called.
But, you know, he was right under the basket when he got the ball, so it made it for a difficult shot, but you got to make those.
Yeah, and that's going to get that foul's going to get called on Markel Brooks as the Falcons make their 4th trip to the line today. Only 4, if you can believe that. Corian Taylor back in the game after that eye injury, so glad to see him back. He made the first. Taylor with 3 points in the game so far. Misses the second. Ollie fell from downtown, and he gets that one to go. Fell with 6 points in the game so far.
We might be 6. Check and see. That might be.
Correct that. That's 9 points. They hadn't updated on my. Oh, and a nice shot. That's only going to be 2, though. Stepped on the line was Josiah Perez-Little. Ollie Felt with those 9 points is tied for the leading scorer with Leviticus Latu.
He just did it again.
And buries another 3, and now he's got 12. And it's 42-31. The Renegades, 12:09 left to go in the game. Oh, and a nice move and a dish underneath. Corian Taylor. And he just fed Isaiah Harper for the easy layup. And a nice rebound underneath. And that's going to be a foul. And it's going to get it called on Corian Taylor.
And it looks like we will get our first Renegade free throws.
This is the first trip to the line for Bakersfield College tonight. Taylor with his first foul of the game. Markel Brooks now at the line shooting 2. Markel Brooks is out of Golden Valley High School. He's a sophomore at 6'8". One of the 3 sophomores on this squad for the Renegades. And he drains them both. And Brooks is now going to have a seat as Godwill Famuso comes back into the game. Famuso out of Centennial High School. A lot of local representation on this Bakersfield squad. Only one player, and that's Ali Fell from Espanola High School in New Mexico, is not from Bakersfield. Renegades once again swarming on the rebound. That one eventually picked up by Dante King. And a blocking foul is going to get called down low. And that's going to go against Donovan Johnson. Johnson's 3rd foul of the game. 11:26 left to go here in the second half.
You know, Tom, when you look at that foul, it looked like he ran him over, but the defender has to have his feet planted.
Yeah, and he might have also been, well, I don't think he was inside the crease. But if your feet aren't set in anymore, it's getting harder and harder to draw fouls, isn't it?
Right.
We see a lot of blocking fouls on guys that are sliding into the last minute. It's not like they used to call them.
Right.
Back in the day, if you were anywhere near there in a position, feet moving or not, if you got run over, they were going to call a charge on you. Oh, and a nice dish inside. Good inbound by Leviticus Latu as he gives it to Lendell Henderson for the score. Henderson with 8 points in the game now. Shamarian Harper on the outside on it. It's turned over. And Leviticus Latu, oh, and he turns it back over, back to Harper, who gives it inside. And that's going to be Ozoma Ojukwu with the score. Oh, and a nice save, and the Renegades are going to have it. Quick move by Lendell Henderson. And as he was going out of bounds in midair, turned around and knocked it off of the defender and back out of bounds. And the Renegades are going to maintain possession and checking back in now. Timothy Fleming coming in for the Falcons. Renegades trying to reset. Ollie fell down the lane, off the glass, and he scores! And Ollie fell coming on here in the second half now with 14 points. And the Renegades are up 48-35 in a commanding lead with just over 10 minutes to go in the game.
You know, and even with his misses, his near misses underneath, he looks really comfortable on the floor.
As the game has progressed, Ollie Fell has made himself known and imposed his will. And a travel is going to get called underneath, and the Falcons are going to turn the ball over again. And now they have 20 turnovers in the game. As Benjamin Teasley checks back in for the Falcons.
And, you know, I don't know. If I were the coach, I think I'd call a timeout and tell the guys, look, no more turnovers. That's it. That's all I would say. Hold on to the ball.
Oh, a nice sidestep. And Dante King, defender trying to draw the foul, stuck to his guns a little too long. King took that sidestep to his left and put it up off the glass and in. And that's going to be a foul called out on the perimeter, and that's going to go against Dante King. that's King's first foul of the game. Renegades now with 5 team fouls, and a timeout is going to get called by Greg McCall. We'll be back with more Renegade basketball right after this. Renegades in a commanding lead so far, 50-35, their biggest of the game at 15 points. Leading scorer so far for the Renegades is Ollie Fell with 14 points. Really coming on strong here in the second half, Julian.
Right, and one thing I want to mention, as you look at the time, 9 minutes, 26 seconds left. I think we got another fast half going because, again, both these teams are just running. I think we only had like two foul calls.
Yeah, 8 fouls so far called in this second half. And right now, the Renegades once again in a commanding lead and looking to extend this 4-4 to a 5-4 and get over 500 for the first time this season. Fans, be sure to join us back here next week. Go to GoGates.com for details on the women's game that's going to be happening, I believe, next Monday. And any other games that we have on the schedule, just go to GoGates.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms. Simply search Go Gates Go. A lot of things going up here at Bakersfield College. I did talk to someone recently. If you have not been to BC lately, come up and have a walk around this beautiful campus. What a great jewel of Bakersfield and Northeast Bakersfield, and the city of Bakersfield just benefits greatly from this great college. Ollie Fell from downtown. That one's off the mark. And Timothy Fleming with the rebound. 8:38 to go in the second half. Musso and Fell both down low. And Isaiah Harper can't get that one to fall. And that one, Leviticus Latu throwing that one up in a blocking foul. He's going to get the blocking foul called. And that's going to get called on Benjamin Teasley. And Teasley's like, what can I do?
Yeah, I mean, he flew through the key, so I don't know how he got blocked.
We don't know how there was contact, but there was. Latu draws the contact, throws a lame duck up there and tries to get that one to fall. It doesn't go, but now he's at the line and shooting his first pair of the day. Renegades, only been to the line once so far. This is the second time, and they're shooting 100. That one off the back of the iron doesn't go. And checking in now for the Falcons, number 24, Uzoma Ojukwu. Ojukwu out of Kissimmee, Florida, Liberty High School.
How did he get to Coalinga?
Probably looking for that fine California weather. Because there's horrible weather in Florida, after all.
Right. Wow.
I say that in jest. It's going from one paradise to another paradise. That one falls. And now it's 51-35, and 16 is the biggest lead of the game. Just over 8 minutes to go. Oh, and a nice grab by Dante King. And Lendl Henderson tries to go in, and he's going to draw the foul on Ojukwu.
And, you know, I don't know why he didn't give that up. He had two guys on the other side of the key.
Absolutely. Sometimes I think when you get to a point like this one, where the game's kind of a runaway, you start to try to pad your stats.
Yep.
That kind of looked like that's what Henderson was trying to do there. Lendl's first trip to the line today, and he gets the first one to fall.
Yeah, and not that it was a bad shot. It wasn't an awfully bad shot. It's just that there was an easier shot.
Yeah. Jamarian Harper now checking back into the game for the Falcons. 7:55 left to go in the game now. 52-35, Renegade lead. Henderson drains them both. And now the lead is 18. Falcons all out on the perimeter, nobody cutting to the basket, and they're going to turn that one over. The Renegades are going to pick that up, almost turned it back over. Once again, the turnovers in this game, 16-21. Renegades with 16. Latu.
Wow.
Oh, and he cuts through. Oh, and he's come up lame. And I don't know if he got hit on the calf or if something happened.
You know, it looked like because of the way he made that move, he didn't come down on his foot square.
I don't know if he's cramped.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a cramp.
Yeah.
Well, that's better. That's better news than not. But
right.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he came up quickly, and you could tell it was a calf injury.
What, you twist your body like that? Tell me you don't get a cramp.
That miss high off the glass by Corian Taylor. Jamarian Harper driving to his left, coming down the lane, up off the glass and in. Harper with the nice shot. And a nice dish by Fell. And that one goes in. Dante King, and he's going to draw the foul. And Isaiah Perry now coming up, and he's holding his quad.
Quad or his knee, yeah.
So the Renegades starting to get bumped up a little bit here toward the end of this game. Yeah, King at the line. That one, oh, and it's Famosu. He gets the rebound. He's going to throw that one high off the glass. It's going to miss. And the Renegades down low trying to get it back. Nice rebound by Famosu. Falcons having a tough time getting inside. Renegades with a stifling defense tonight.
And you're right. It's been stifling. It's been stifling all night.
And that one's out of bounds. And they're trying to get a little bit of an opinion. There's an argument underneath. Corian Taylor said that Famuso was out of bounds when he dished the ball, and the call is going to get changed correctly. They're going to put 20 seconds on the shot, and the Falcons are going to have the ball, and checking in now is Benjamin Teasley back in the game for the Falcons. Renegade shot percentage has gone up in the second half. As a result, it's up to 40.7% now. And another turnover, and a nice dish, and Phil.
And he finally.
Phil with two hands off the dish from Arnold Ochoa. And this crowd got excited over that one. And Ollie was trailing that whole play, Julian.
Right.
Just hoping to get an opportunity because nobody was guarding him. And Godwill Famuso is going to get called for the foul, reaching over the top. And that's going to be the 16th foul. Each team with 16 fouls right now, and one more, and they're both in the bonus. And this game will slow way down.
Yes. Well, I tell you what, on that last bucket by Ollie, he was determined.
Absolutely. Markel Brooks now checking back in the game for the Renegades as Famuso has a seat. Falcons inbounding underneath the basket. Isaiah Harper trying to drive. He throws that one up. It's off the back of the iron, and Henderson with the rebound, and here comes Fell.
Oh.
And a turnover by Markel Brooks. It was actually trying to dish it down low to Dante King on that one, and Brooks now comes up with the turnover again.
Yeah, he wasn't even looking, so I don't know.
And 24 turnovers now. And another couple of turnovers. We're just playing it backwards and forwards, and Ochoa now with the easy lay-in.
It started to look like a tennis match for a second.
We just saw 4 turnovers in a matter of about 15 seconds. 61-37, the Renegades with a commanding lead here, and 4:39 left to go in the contest. Henderson getting that rebound at the high point, and Markel Brooks dishes it over to Ochoa. Ochoa backs it out. Ochoa from beyond the arc, and he can't get that one to go. Oh, and a nice dish down underneath. Oh, and a great shot by Donovan Johnson under pressure, and he takes the contact and draws the foul. The basket will count, and Lendell Henderson's going to get called for the foul. And Johnson is now at the line. And surprisingly, that is Lendell Henderson's first foul of the game. Wow. Henderson with 12 points in the contest right now. Johnson gets the three-point play on that. Renegades looking to slow it down here a little bit, maybe drain some clock. And why not? They've got a commanding lead. And trying for an alley-oop there, Ochoa dished it over to Markel Brooks, but Brooks couldn't finish. A little bit out of reach. And Ochoa still applying pressure. And wide open out there is Josiah Little Perry. Pardon me, Josiah Perez Little. And Donovan Johnson gets the rebound and puts that one in. 3:15 to go in the game. Oh, and a nice rebound after multiple contact by Corian Taylor. Oh, and a turnover there. Oh, and from behind. Markel Brooks with the block. And a timeout is going to get called by Greg McCall. He's going to try and rally his troops. We'll be back with the end of this one right after these messages. We've really watched the Renegades kind of come out hot in the second half, and they've been known to do that throughout the season. They start out slow, and then they pick up throughout the rest of the game. Only one game we've seen so far down the stretch that a couple weeks ago where they just couldn't hold out and then ended up kind of giving out like 10, 11 points at the end of that game.
Right, they gave out, as you said, the exact word.
So Renegades holding strong here. Oh, and a hard landing by Corian Taylor on the deck. And a foul is going to get called against the Renegades.
I think the foul was more the contact with the floor.
I think absolutely.
Yeah,
it was not a hard foul, but
right.
the direction he was going and the
right.
landing,
and
we heard it all the way up here on the broadcast deck. A really, really tough landing by Taylor, and he's getting back up, so he's doing good. But, boy, that one, you could hear it, and it was loud, so they're going to give him a second to gather his composure. And a time is going to get called, and they're going to call the timeout so that he can take the shot. Otherwise, he'd have to come out. So, coach calls the timeout. They're going to call a 30-second, it looks like. So, Julian, this is kind of, the first half gave us a little bit of a surprise. We weren't really expecting, we thought they're a tough team. They played tough several games.
Right.
And in the first half, they kind of gave us what they thought they were going to give us.
Exactly.
Second half, we figured that the Renegades were going to start blowing them out if they got kind of into a rhythm, which they did. So this really kind of went the direction we were going.
Right. And, I think we saw the beginning of this game, the number of turnovers that the Falcons had, you would think that the score on the Renegade side would have been a lot higher, but they were missing the shots.
Absolutely. And you're right, turnovers on both sides today. not so great in the last 5 minutes because we've seen a lot. Like you said, it looked like a tennis match.
Yes.
25 turnovers for the Falcons compared to the 20 turnovers from the Renegades. And right now, the Renegades are shooting 26 of 63 from the field, while the Falcons are 19 of 53. So
wow.
Taking 10 less shots, but making a whole lot fewer.
You know, and that's a percentage that a coach does not want to see at the end of the game when he looks at, you know, all the paperwork. Wow.
And you want to see the attempts. The problem is you're not seeing the attempts because the turnovers.
So the turnovers.
So that's
right.
really kind of what we've seen. The difference in this game so far really has been the turnover.
And I'm sure that McCall, when he goes back and looks at the tape and he looks at the stats, he's going to let his team know, look, they had this many turnovers, and these are all the points we got off of those turnovers. And it probably should be a little bit higher.
And one of the surprises in this game so far, which we both talked about, one of my favorite players, number 16, Ollie Fell.
Ollie Fell.
And so, 14, excuse me, but he has 16 points.
That's right.
And so, as I called it earlier, he was going to have to get into a rhythm and elevate and make those easy shots, which he has the ability to do and hasn't done in certain situations, but really done a good job here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, and I tell you, he looks so comfortable on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. And, hey, give it up to the Falcons because they're not quitting. You know, this full court press right now, they're down 15 points, but you wouldn't know it by the play that they're exhibiting right now.
Right. And I don't know if they'll start fouling soon.
And a little bit of contact there. And Markel Brooks just kind of takes a step back and just puts a nice little bucket right in the hole. Oh, and that one, I don't think he meant to put that one off the glass.
You got to call that one.
Josiah Perez Little with the three. And the quick turnover. And the Renegades kind of need to watch out here because when you get into a mode like this, that lead can evaporate quickly in that 2 minutes.
Right, and you know that's why Coach McCall called timeout because that's what was happening before. They were just giving the ball right back to him.
Renegades now with 9 team fouls, and so the Falcons are going to go to the line on every foul now, and they're going to go into the bonus on the next one, so it's going to be 2 shots from here on out. Every foul for the Renegades. That can eat away at a score really quickly, and now the lead is 13. At its peak, it was a 16-point lead.
Right.
And now the lead is 12.
And how many times have we seen that in sport, period? The free throw brings you right back quietly. How did they cover all that ground?
Oh, and a nice drive in the lane. And Markel Brooks puts that one up and in. A nice finger roll. And a soft touch to score. And a minute 55 to go in the game. Renegades with a 14-point lead. Oh, it fell with the bad, ill-advised pass.
Yeah.
And Brooks with a bad foul.
Wow.
And now the Falcons are going to go to the line once again. And the Falcons have been at the line 7 times so far tonight.
Wow.
This is their 8th trip in this game. And they're surprisingly a very good shooting team. Right now they're averaging over 77% from the free throw line.
Unbelievable.
And another turnover by Ollie Fell. And McCall's just kind of sitting there, and he isn't saying much, but I'm surprised he's leaving Ollie in right now and doesn't want to put him on the bench.
And I don't think it's a situation where he's going to try to make him play through it and trying to finish out this last minute 39.
Absolutely. Corian Taylor drives down low, surrounded by Renegades, and manages to score. And a contact foul is going to get called, and the Renegades are now going to go into the bonus, and Leviticus Latu is going to come down and shoot 1 and 1 at the other end.
You know, and the Falcons are holding true to their nature. What they do is they get in games and they hang around.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done.
And that's kind of what they've done right now. Their lead now is only cut to 10. A minute 29 left to go here in the game, so important shot right now by Latu to keep this a double-digit lead. And he makes the first one. Latu now with 14 points in the game. He has 14. Lendl Henderson has 12. And Ollie Fell has 16. The leading scorers for the Falcons are Corian Taylor has 11.
Here we go.
And good defense there.
Yes.
By Jamarian Harper. Ollie Fell was licking his chops on that one.
Sure was.
And Harper comes in and knocks the ball away before he can put it down. So Corian Taylor has 11 points. Jamarian Harper with 10. They are the two leading scorers on this Falcon squad. Ollie Fell now at the line. And that was a shooting foul. So they're going to call. This is going to be 2 shots. And the officials are getting ready to throw a technical foul.
Because he keeps talking. Well, I don't know what he's talking about.
There's a little jabberjawing going on down. They're getting a little hot, the two teams.
And he's still talking. Wow.
So they better be careful or somebody's going to get called for a technical foul.
I mean, I could see him not liking the foul, but there's nothing to talk about.
That's right. Once it's done, it's done. So Fell drains the first one. And now checking in, it looks like Markel Brooks is going to have a seat. And Godwill Famuso is going to come in for him.
He's still talking.
Ollie Fell is going to have a seat in a second here. Because
Coach is trying to tell him to stop talking.
Carter Wadea is down here at the scores table getting ready to check in, and I think he's trying to save him from getting a technical foul call.
Right.
So if Ollie Fell makes this, he's coming out, and he does, and he's going to come out. And Carter Wadea is going to come in, and he's trying to explain to Greg McCall. He's trying to plead his case.
Yeah, and McCall's not completely broken up by it, but he still doesn't want the technical.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You know, Julian, I'm trying to figure out what's more fun, watching the game or watching Greg McCall.
Yes. He is our official sixth man.
A nice pickoff by Dante King. And he's going to score. Just under a minute to go now. And a foul's going to get called underneath, and that's going to go against Uzoma Ojukwu. No, actually, whoa, they're going to call that on the Renegades.
Yeah.
And it looks like Leviticus, well, it was Carter Wadea or Leviticus Latu got the call. It's showing us Carter Wadea up there. And Ojukwu at the line, and he drains the first one. And Lendl Henderson with a big rebound underneath. And the pressure is on still. Oh, and a turnover. Grabbed by Jamarian Harper, and he puts that one in. Renegades bringing it all the way into the forecourt off the inbound. And working it around the perimeter, trying to keep the ball in play and eat a little bit of clock, and they have another turnover, but it's grabbed and turned back over by Carter Wadea. And that's going to be off the official. The official is part of the court. Well, we had to have an exciting end to this game.
I guess so.
Renegades leading the Falcons 71-57, and the clock is spinning. 10 seconds to go.
And another turn.
And Godwill Famuso looking for the dunk. Oh, and that's a bad foul.
Right, bad foul.
And the benches are up.
Yeah, bad
Everybody
foul.
is being told to sit down. Benjamin Teasley literally just grabbed him.
I don't know why.
And he's going to get ejected out of the game. He's done.
That was horrible.
Not really the way you want to see that go.
Right.
You know, we got to the end of this game, and yeah, so he's out. He's gotten ejected. The official is calling it from the score table, and he said, listen, he dragged him down, and it was done with malice, so you're out of here.
Right.
And not something we want to see.
No, we don't want to see that.
You know, so now Famuso, he's going to go to the line and shoot 2, and the Renegades are going to get the ball back with 4.5 seconds to go in the game.
You know, and I didn't even see that happening. So when he pulled him down, and my eyes just went, what are you doing?
Yeah. An unfortunate incident at the end of this one. That's something you really don't want to see.
Right.
You know, everybody's kind of, emotions get running a little bit hot. And that's kind of how it happens. But still, you just don't want to see that in a game. So that's going to do it for Benjamin Teasley. And Uzoma Ojukwu is coming into the game now. For him, 4.5 seconds. And Famuso is going to finish the day with 5 points. Well, correction, that was just his first foul. This could be a second one, so it could be 6. Second technical foul shot, and he makes that one. And the Renegades are going to have the ball out of bounds. They will most likely inbound the ball and hold.
Just hold it. There's no need. We don't need another foul.
I would probably run to the backcourt, and that's exactly what Greg McCall's telling him to do.
And we don't need another
And the first thing he
score.
does is turn it over. And a dunk is coming. Oh, and he scores. Corian Taylor with the dunk, and the ball is out of bounds with 0.7 seconds.
Just
and that's going to do it. Padding the stats is Corian Taylor. Good for him. And a quick handshake at the end of this game. So the final score, Bakersfield College Renegades 73. And the Coalinga Falcons 59. What a game tonight. Julian, your final thoughts. What do you think?
Well, I have to make mention of the fact that these two teams are not rival teams, so that's why I was concerned about that ending. You know, they don't play each other all the time. But what I will say, I've never seen a referee plead with a player to tell him to be quiet that long.
Absolutely.
I mean, he did not want to charge the tech, but Ollie kept talking. I was like, wow.
Yeah, Ollie Fell, the leading scorer for the Renegades today with 18 points. Leading scorer for the Coalinga Falcons is Corian Taylor with 13. He would not have been. It would have been Jamarian Harper if not for that dunk at the end of the game.
Right.
Jamarian Harper had 12 points for the game.
Wow.
For everybody here at Bakersfield College, coming to you once again from the Gil Bishop Sports Center, this has been Tom Myers and Julian Wilson. Thank you all for coming out tonight and listening to the broadcast and watching the game. Come support your Renegades. Come on up here for ticket information. Go to GoGades.com. Until next week, we will see you either here or on the radio. Once again, Bakersfield College wins 73-59 over the Coalinga Falcons. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Bakersfield College Athletics thanks you for watching this broadcast. For more BC Athletics sports videos, highlights, and replays, subscribe to Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube. And for news, live broadcasts, and schedule information across all our sports, visit GoGades.com.